of education. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The world requires a change.
And so, in the microcosm of the city of Lucknow, Dr. Jagdish Gandhi started City Montessori School in 1959, a non-profit organization that was set up as a laboratory to create world-minded and socially conscious citizens who would work for the welfare of humanity and its unity. Plato had said, "It is the idea that moves the world." Goethe says, "Life is action." The story of Dr. Jagdish Gandhi's life is refreshingly vibrant that encourages one to take charge, regenerate and renew. The concept of karma was introduced to him by his uncle Sri Prabhu Dayalji, who inculcated in him hope and to dream of a world where there will be Satyug, the divine civilization. His father took him to village temple where religious discourses and discussions took place, and his pious mother ingrained in him the value of complete connect with God at all times. Greatly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, young Jagdish found not only the peaceful narrative of serving society, but also the burning fervor of resolution in the great man. He could fathom the power of the slogan of Jai Jagat or Hail the World, coined by the Mahatma and Acharya Vinoba Bhave to reform and restructure global society. He laid the foundation of a school where value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or Earth is but one country and mankind its citizens, is being nurtured through unique CMS broader, bolder education model for the 21st century, an education capable of saving humanity that draws heavily from the teachings of Baha'u'llah that says, among the greatest of all the great services that can possibly be rendered by a man to Almighty God is the meaningful spiritual education of children, building their character and inculcating in their tender hearts the love of God. He always felt that education is not filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. The school has educated students to respect the values of tolerance and has been actively working to construct the defenses of peace in the minds of students, parents, and public. In recognition of this remarkable achievement, the school was awarded the 2002 UNESCO Prize for Peace Education. The school that began with 5 children and a borrowed capital of $10 in 1959 today has over 56,000 students, a Guinness World Record for being the largest school by pupils. He still works, sleeps, eats and entertains visitors in 12 by 14 square feet room where he first began his mission. All his personal belongings can fit into a suitcase. Dr. Gandhi, who has maximized expenses on his vision and minimized his personal needs by religion, he is Baha'i. By way of personal wealth, he has none. His fervent admirer and follower, his wife, Dr. Bharati Gandhi, he is supported in his vision by his principals from 18 CMS campuses, 2,000 teachers and 1,000 other workers of CMS. The De Rosio Award winner in the 20th century, the recognition of outstanding service to education and human enrichment, Dr. Gandhi argues, as universe is governed by laws of nature, humanity should also be governed by one law, and thus pioneered the idea of World Judiciary Summit. He constituted the World Unity Education Department to organize the international conferences of Chief Justices of the world since the turn of the century, with the recently concluded 19th International Conference of Chief Justices of the World on Article 51 of the Constitution of India. Staunch believer of Mahatma Gandhi's path of non-violence, Dr. Jagdish Gandhi's life has been governed by the saying of, "Let us not curse the darkness. Instead, light a candle." Member of the World Peace Prayer Society and a firm believer in the Japanese Kaizen theory of continuous improvement, Dr. Gandhi introduced the concept of quality control circles in education and is the founder chairman of the World Council for Total Quality and Excellence in Education. For bringing in this visionary concept in education, he was honored with the key to the city of Georgetown, USA. This crusader for unity and peace, Dr. Jagdish Gandhi, has a class of his own, working on a thesis. True education releases capacities, develops analytical abilities, confidence in oneself, willpower, goal-setting competency, and instills the vision that will enable oneself to become a self-motivated agent of social transformation, serving for the best interest of the community. For nearly 6 decades now, in a real laboratory of a school called CMS and its community focusing on real-time subjects in globalism, universal brotherhood, and world unity and peace, Dr. Gandhi has earned 5 honorary doctorate degrees, namely Honorary Doctorate Degree in Education in 2009 by Bashkir State Pedagogical University, Ufa, Russia, Honorary Doctorate Degree in Law bestowed by the University of Concepción del Uruguay, Republic of Argentina in 2012. In the same year, another honorary doctorate degree in law given by the University of Mendoza, Republic of Argentina. Honorary doctorate degree by Inca Garcilaso University in Peru in 2014. An honorary doctorate degree by the National University of Mongolia in 2015. Lifetime Achievement Award by the Education World magazine in 2017. The prestigious Gusi Peace Prize in Manila, Philippines in 2011. The award, also known as the Asian Nobel Prize, is given to achievers of the world. And Soaring Above the Rest Award by the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination, New Delhi, for his invaluable contribution to peace through education in 2014. Who could have imagined that a frail, bashful boy born in one of thousands of remote, poverty-stricken, backward villages of the state of pre-independent Uttar Pradesh in these past 60 years would have been able to create a wonderful experiment of immense value to educators worldwide, a story which has received global recognition, a story worth understanding by policymakers and schools worldwide.
May CMS fragrance fill the sky, and its name endure forever and I. May its founders' ideals inspire, to strive, to seek, to ever aspire. May we uphold the good and fair in all that we do and dare. At home, at school, at play, in actions of the day. Our school is a temple of learning, where knowledge and wisdom rules, where we become the changes we dream of. Our most beloved school. Our lessons are of peace and love. Our anchor is of spiritual spirituality. Our greetings for all is JAGDISH. Our vision is of world unity, unique in the annals of education. Our founder is a one of a kind. We are the light of the world, and CMS, the hope of mankind. May CMS fragrance fill the sky, and His name endure forever and ever. May its founders' ideals inspire, to strive, to seek, to ever aspire. May we uphold the good and fair in all that we do and dare. At home, at school, at play, in actions of the day. At home, at school, at play, in actions of the day.
His Excellency Justice Dr. Hanafi Ali Gibali, President, Supreme Constitutional Court, Egypt.
City Montessori School is a living example before us that has paved the way for all the educational institutions to incorporate such approach in their curriculum, which prepare children to perceive each other as a member of one global family.
His Excellency Dr. Abdul Basir Anwar, Minister of Justice, Afghanistan. His Excellency Sir Iakobati Italeli, Governor General of Republic of Tuvalu.
My address today goes to the very heart of contemporary international challenges. Challenges of a world in crisis. Never before has humanity confronted so many resource-related tensions, manifesting themselves so acutely in such varied forms, in so many places at the same time.
Excerpts from the parallel sessions held in the morning. Conference Room Number 1, Theme Education for Promoting World Unity and World Peace, chaired by Honorable Mr. Justice Kasum Kambu, President, the Constitutional Council of Burkina Faso, coordinated by Mrs. Nisha Pandey, Senior Principal, CMS Rajajipuram Campus 1. Speakers include Honorable Mr. Justice João Antonio, Deputy Chief Justice, Supreme Court, Mozambique, Honorable Mr. Justice Edgar Guillermo, Judge, Technical Department of Legal Investigations, Ecuador, Dr. Takahiro Kato, Associate Professor, University of Tokyo, Japan, Honorable Mr. Justice Abdul Aziz Musalman, Judge, High Court, Janakpur, Nepal. Conference Room Number 2, Theme Establishing Rule of Law, Chairperson, Honorable Mr. Justice Eric Leach, Judge, Supreme Court of Appeal, South Africa. Coordinator, Mrs. Jyotsna Atul, Principal, CMS Rajendranagar Campus 2. Speakers, Honorable Mr. Justice Ernest Nujumbe, Judge, Supreme Court, Cameroon. Honorable Ms. Justice Tatiana, Criminal Judge, Court of Justice, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Honorable Ms. Justice Adriana Oroku, President, Costa Rican Association of Judges, Costa Rica. Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar, Judge, Jammu and Kashmir High Court, India. Honorable Mr. Justice Antoine Kesia Mabe Mindua, Judge, International Criminal Court, the Netherlands. Honorable Mr. Justice Abdelila Lakim Benani, Judge, Court of Cassation, Morocco. Conference room number 3, theme Human Rights. Chairperson, Honorable Harum Ali Sulaiman, State Minister for the President's Office, Zanzibar, Tanzania. Coordinator, Mrs. Jayashree Krishnan, Principal, CMS Rajendranagar Campus 3. Speakers, Honorable Mr. Justice Ramodi Bedi, former Judge, Swaziland and Seychelles. Honorable Ms. Justice Sandra Fabiana, Judge of Family Court, San Isidro, Argentina. Honorable Mr. Justice Abner Juan Solis, Judge and Secretary General, Nicaragua. Honorable Ms. Justice K. Hema, former Judge, Kerala High Court, India. In the main auditorium, lecture to students of CMS. Subject 2, Challenges of the 21st Century, Role of Nation States and Civil Society to Meet the Challenges. Speaker, Honorable Mr. Justice Hanan Malsa, Deputy President, Supreme Court, Israel.
With over 130 trillion different web pages, the Internet is the greatest storehouse of information ever known to man. This information can be used in deliberation to craft arguments and ground our debates. Second, the democracy. Through online social forums, the citizens of the world can debate and argue from all corners of the globe. Using more modern technology, we can improve and build deliberative democracy by connecting with more people and more ideas, and by eliminating geographic and social boundaries. But we must tread carefully.
Good afternoon, Honorable Sir. So you delivered a very good speech. I liked it. You mentioned about anti-Semitism in it. You mentioned about fake news. But what about, sir, anti-Palestinian attitude of Israel towards the state of Palestine? Do you think that the judiciary has a role to play in this whole matter? So yesterday you talked, you gave a word "shalom," which means peace. You seem to understand that. We seem to understand that. But the Israeli Prime Minister, the Defense Minister who just now resigned from the cabinet, doesn't seem to understand that thing. So, what's your views on this, sir?
Okay. First of all, I'm for free speech, and as long as anyone wants to express his views, it's okay.
Yes, sir.
If it goes beyond that, and there is a call for violence, that can be barred all over the world, because otherwise we will allow terrorists to use the social networks in order to enhance their efforts to blow up the world. Now, that is so as long as anyone speaks for a Palestinian state or against Palestinian state, that's okay. If it goes beyond that and calls for active acts, which are terrorist acts, the governments can bar those acts, according to my mind. Now, as to political question that you have raised, due to my judicial function, I will not comment any further.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, earlier you mentioned about cyberbullying and how rapidly it's going on in the world and how teenagers are a victim of it. So what are the measures taken by the Israeli government to prevent this? Or are they going to do some thing about it?
Okay, on this point I can answer. We are taking very harsh measures against cyberbullying, and in two levels. First of all, in the social networks, we bar whenever it's disclosed that there is such cyberbullying, the government has the right to bar it. And beside that, a person that is responsible for that is brought, an indictment is brought against him in the criminal courts. So here we can be an example for the world on this matter.
Students of CMS Mahanagar campus presented the hymn Light of the World. They made a presentation on behalf of world's over 2.5 billion children and generations yet to be born.
Violence and discrimination against women and girls is one of the symptoms of a social order characterized by conflict, insecurity, and injustice.
And long-lasting. The role of men in prevention cannot be emphasized. It has been so heartwarming that the UN Women has announced its campaign of He for She in September 2014. Since then, there has been an increasing number of initiatives by men and boys in speaking out strongly against exploitation and violence faced by women and girls.
Prevention programs and societal transformation must go hand in hand.
No custom, tradition, or religious interpretation that sanctions any form of violence against women and girls should be tolerated. Each one of us has an obligation to eradicate violence against women and girls.
The session was compared by Mrs. Ruchi Bhuvan Joshi, Principal CMS Indranagar Campus, and the speakers are Honorable Harum Ali Sulaiman, State Minister for the President's Office, Zanzibar, Tanzania; Honorable Mr. Justice Professor Nare Omaru, Vice President, Constitutional Court, Niger.
Ladies and gentlemen, for us to achieve this conference, the world needs to be free from discrimination against children and free from tragedies of the war. Therefore, there is a need to establish a special mechanism through which the enforceable laws, world laws for children is enforced everywhere around the world.
Les États ne sont plus les seuls acteurs de la société internationale.
The international law seems thus like a body of laws, written or non-written, and which are destined to try to discipline, otherwise to regulate the relations between the subjects.
Third plenary session, the chief guest, Honorable Professor Aaron Michael Okae, Speaker of the Parliament, Republic of Ghana. Special guest, Honorable Justice Dr. Osman Batoko, President, Supreme Court of Benin.
Such as that offered by this conference, the African courts must make the rights of the child a barometer of their action in favor of the child in their office and work for the effectiveness of the application of standards for children. If the protection of the child is to emerge from the judiciary, alternative methods must be considered, and above all, it must be invested or reinvested in the family so that a preponderant place is given to the family, which is the basis of society.
All these matters, we will see, relate also to the economy of our nation and the state of the socialization and education as a whole. Child abuse is very, very crucial and must be prevented and dealt with. And this must also lead to the sociological aspect of the problem by way of dealing with it not only in the courts but also in the society as a whole.
Excerpts from the parallel sessions held in the afternoon. Conference room number 1. More thoughts on the theme Education for Promoting World Unity and World Peace, chaired by Dr. B. Ramaswamy, Pro Vice Chancellor, Oriental University, Indore, coordinated by Mrs. Reena Soti, Principal CMS Anandnagar Campus. Speakers, Honorable Ms. Justice Maria del Carmen, Superior Judge, President, Criminal Appeals, Peru. Honorable Ms. Justice Erna Thecia Maria, Judge, Court of Appeal, Sao Paulo, Brazil; Ms. Margaret Anderson, author, Global Meditation Network, USA; Honorable Mr. Justice Iqbal Singh, former Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court, India; Honorable Ms. Justice Gloria Elizabeth, Judge, Supreme Court of Justice, Paraguay. At conference room number 3, new discussions on human rights were chaired by Honorable Mr. Justice Lobsang Rinzin, Judge, Royal Court of Justice, Bhutan, coordinated by Mrs. Abha Anand, Principal, CMS Gomti Nagar Campus 1. Speakers, Mr. Justice Syed Yusuf Halim, Chief Justice, Supreme Court, Afghanistan; Honorable Mr. Justice Hanan Melser, Deputy President, Supreme Court, Israel; Honorable Ms. Justice Irene Sofia, Judge, Superior Court, Labor Division, Peru; Honorable Ms. Justice Sylvia Zimena, Judge, National Court of Justice, Ecuador; Honorable Mr. Justice Rakesh Kumar Garg, former Judge, Punjab and Haryana High Court, India; Professor K.V. Thomas, Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, Ernakulam, Kerala, India. Conference room number 5, more discussions took place on the theme Tackling Global Issues, chaired by Honorable Mr. Justice Bashir Yusuf Ahmed, Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Somalia, coordinated by Mrs. Shabista Jaffrey from CMS Station Road Campus. Speakers, Honorable Ms. Justice M. Garkwe, Judge, High Court, Botswana; Honorable Mr. Justice Win Mint, Chief Justice, High Court, Saigon, Myanmar; Honorable Mr. Justice Padamkant Saxena, former Additional District and Sessions Judge, India; Dr. Sasikala Pushpa Ramaswamy, Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha from Tamil Nadu, India. Every child is potentially the light of the world. Therefore, in the session, Lecture to Students of CMS, the subjects include 1. New World Order under Rule of Law, Structure of Global Democracy. Speaker, Honorable Dr. Augusto Lopez Claros, international economist from USA.
But we have people who, because of developments in technologies and communication, want to have higher standards of living. They are no longer happy with the uneven distribution of resources in the world. They don't like it. They don't like the fact that 20% of the population living in the 30 wealthiest countries essentially consume 80% of all the world's goods and services. And so you have these trends. And you might say, well, but your population forecast for 2050 is like most economists that economists make. It must be subject to a huge margin of uncertainty. And my answer to your question is no. Economists didn't make these forecasts, demographers did. And because many of the mothers who will have these children are already born with us, there is considerable certainty about these numbers.
Subject 2. Condition of world's children and their problems, impact of international conventions, declaration on their rights. Speaker, Honorable Mrs. Justice Elizabeth Guanza, Deputy Chief Justice, Supreme Court.
Policies and measures to ensure that in matters relating to children, the best interests of the children concerned are paramount.
शिक्षात्मक सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम एवं चिंतन हेतु विश्व एकता सत्संग में आप सभी सपरिवार सादर आमंत्रित हैं।